What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Planetary Reviews, and I'm finally here to review Yakuza Zero. First thing I gotta commend this game for is the fact that this game was packaged actually pretty well. I'm gonna show you guys what it came with. It came with a really cool packaging where it came like in a box and everything. And it actually came with a little thing if you have any business cards, or maybe you just want to put like a couple bucks in here like as a hideaway or whatever. Comes with a very nice little dragon looking Japanese design little case for you. It's actually really cool. I really enjoyed that. I wasn't expecting that because, you know, in today's world, you're not really getting much in your packaging. We don't really get like a whole bunch of manuals anymore like we used to. But that is really cool. I gotta commend them for that. So you guys will really enjoy that if you like to get like little knickknacks to collect and stuff like that for a game that you really love. And let's start with the review. The story is very good for this game. You play as two different characters. Both of them are in the Yakuza for different reasons. And I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't want to have any spoilers, because this game is definitely worth going in with a blind eye. And this game's story is very compelling from both ends. The first character you play as is Kiryu. He's a character that is very complex. He's in the Yakuza for many different reasons, and he gets framed for something. I'm not going to go into any more than that. He gets framed for something, and you're trying to figure out why, and you're trying to figure out just what's going on here. And then you play as a club owner. I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. I'm sorry. And he starts off, when you first meet him in the cutscene, he just looks like a goofy, really funny character. And he's a really good martial artist, and he wants to get back into Yakuza because he was kicked out for a reason. Guess I'm gonna say that. And both characters feel unique, which is great. One has a better fighting style. Like when you become the club owner, trust me, you're gonna like his fighting style much more. It's much more appealing. It's a lot easier to use. Not that Kiryu's fighting styles are bad, but I just felt like once I got to the club owner's fighting styles, he was awesome. He was fast. He was accurate. And it felt really good to play as him compared to playing as Kiryu. Nothing against him, just I preferred the fighting style of the club owner. Next thing I gotta say, the frame rate in this game is at a constant 60 FPS. Mainly due to the fact the world isn't huge and the graphics aren't super amazing. They look like a PS3 game ported onto a PS4, which is fine because I got a great 60 FPS, and that's awesome. That's fantastic. You don't see it very often where a game can hold 60 FPS nowadays, but that is awesome on a console, and it was just smooth to play. One thing I gotta say about the combat, though, is that as great as it is and as deep as it could be, because there is an ability tree where you can buy different types of new moves, maybe give yourself more health and stuff like that, but the combat can lack a little bit in the accuracy. When you're doing a 1v1, it's great, but when you're fighting multiple people, it feels a little floaty. It feels a little inaccurate at times. I still feel like Batman, the Arkham games, are pretty much the most amazing combat when it comes to melee combat in an open world game. So this game doesn't feel super accurate sometimes, but it's still a very fun time, and you'll have a great time. I had so much fun fighting in this game. Holy crap. Which brings me to my next point. I do wish that every single moment in this game was fully dialogued. It sucks that there were some moments where you're just reading subtitles and you're not hearing any voices. And that's also another thing. If you do not like reading, stay away from this game. You will probably get a headache just by playing this game because you're going to be reading a lot of subtitles. This is a fully Japanese game that also is uncensored as it came to the US, which is great. That is a great thing. It was not censored to come here. It stayed the way it was meant to be. We did not change it, which is fantastic, because if they would have censored this game would have been so boring. This game would have been so different, and it would have just not been the same. There were so many funny moments. There were so many funny mini-games to be had. Like one mini-game, you're this tough Yakuza guy, and there is a section in the city where you could go into a building, and after collecting all these cards, you will sit there and be able to watch the video of those girls on those cards just sitting there in like bikinis doing some suggested things. Not fully nudity, no pornographic stuff, but just like, you know, softcore little little things. And it's funny because at the end he goes, ugh, and then he just grabs the moist towelette that they have sitting right there next to the TV. It's funny. You will laugh your ass off. There are also tons of other mini games like bowling, there's darts, there's a karaoke mini game, which is actually pretty fun. It's a fun and happy game. But then when you get to the story, it goes back to being serious. It goes back to being a very emotional story. And there were actually some moments where I was actually getting so engaged that I was like, oh my god, is this actually going to happen? Holy crap, I don't want this to happen to that character. So, that was really cool. Another thing I gotta say is that this game is filled to the brim with content, which is great. You're gonna have, if you just want to blow through the story, you can do that. And I think you'll still get a decent amount of time, maybe like 10 to 15 hours. But if you do what I did and you just take your time at like all the side quests that you see, you explore a little bit, you play with the arcade games, because there are some 80s arcade games in this game and it's awesome, you will easily get 40 plus hours out of this game, maybe even more if you're like me and you just take your time and you run around just playing everything because it's so much fun. So, and also, this game is a prequel, so for any of you newcomers that have never played a Yakuza game, do not worry, this game will just let you go in because it takes place in Japan in the 1980s when they were having a big economic boom. So you get to experience that, which is why every time you hit an enemy, it seems like they have just yen popping out of their pockets and everything when you beat them. And you can also spend that money on anything you want, which is really cool. I do wish you had more customization when it came to your character. Sadly, you do not. But overall, Yakuza Zero is a fantastic game. Does it have its flaws with the combat being a little iffy? The graphics aren't as amazing as they could be, but the frame rate is fantastic. The story is fantastic. The side quests are fun, and you'll be engaged through all of them. The story is extremely compelling. You want to know what's going on. The characters that you bump into in this game are all really different and unique, especially one that I will point out right away, that you will be in a club as the club owner. You'll be in a rival club, and you'll be sitting there exploring the place, and you will see a guy in his underwear just sitting there pelvic thrusting the air. And you will just at first sit there and be like, what the hell is going on there? And then you walk out later on, and as you're walking through the city, you bump into him again. And it turns out his name is Mr. Libido, and he talks to you about all the hot girls that are walking around. He's like, oh, look out for those little cards. You can go to the video store, blah, blah, blah. And out of nowhere, his name changes to Mr. Erection. This game is hilarious when it comes to that. There are so many little things about this game that make it so worth it. Is the world huge? Do you bump into some invisible walls? Yes, you do. The game is not perfect, you can tell. But it has a charm to it. It has a great story. It has great characters. It has a lot of mini games to play. It has so much content. They packaged it with so much care. You could tell that the people who made this game really care about it. Due to cutscenes, due to the animation of the cutscenes, due to voice acting, and just what you get from buying the game, where you get this little, like I showed you, little business card holder. This is a really cool game, but if you're not into the Japanese type of games, if you're not into reading subtitles, if you're not really open-minded about humor, you might get a little offended by some of the things you see in this game. But overall, if you are really okay with all that and reading subtitles, this game is a fun game to play. I recommend anyone who has never played a Yakuza game, definitely pick up this one because, like I said, it is a prequel. You will enjoy it. I'm definitely a fan. I had never played one before this, so I can't wait for the remake of the first one. I think they're making a remake of the first one, and I can't wait for the next sequel overall for this game, for this series. So, at the end of the day, Yakuza Zero gets a solid B+ from me, guys. Go check out this game. I had a great time reviewing it. Don't worry, guys, my next reviews are going to be For Honor, Horizon Zero Dawn, and tomorrow, because I could not see it today, sadly, I will be going to see John Wick 2, and I will review it to you tomorrow as soon as I get out of the theater and I see it. But, as always, guys, have a great day, and thank you so much for watching.